So welcome back to the fields of Perthshire. We have, in the white bobble hat, we have Mikey. He's using my Whites DFX. We've got Martin right there, Gold Noble Martin. And then we've got Sneaky Pete just in at the end. And the little dog, our lucky charm, Golden Lexi, is running around as well. So 4 out of 5. Unfortunately, Paul, aka Fletch, has let us down again. I think we're going to have to let him go out of the gang. So maybe I should say, if anyone is interested in joining the Scottish Detectorists, we might be willing to swap Paul in exchange for someone else. I don't really mean that. Paul's on holiday, so he'll be back soon. So 3 of us are on the XP Goldbacks. There's my machine there, and as I say, Mikey with the bobble hat is on my Whites DFX, and he's just a beginner, so he's probably going to pull out 2 Gold Nobles. We're back on the Gold Noble field, this stubble field. The sun is coming and going. It's not too bad. It's a little bit cold, but when the sun comes out, it's quite nice. So fingers crossed. We've had, I think, 5 or 6 hammered coins off this field. So here's Pete's first find, silver, kind of. Oh, George VI. So it's silver, but it's not silver, because by this time they were making them from, I think it's nickel. Originally though, it would have been very bright and shiny. George VI, so this is Queen Elizabeth II's father. And on the back, 1947, and it's a sixpence. So it was still called a silver sixpence, albeit there's actually no silver in it. So I had a smaller version of one of these before and said that it was a furniture fitting, a keyhole, but a few people pointed out it's probably suspenders. This is bigger, but maybe just for bigger suspenders. What do you reckon? But Pete's coming wandering over, which means he's got something good. He's got a smile on his face. He may have, he says. What have you got, Pete?
Oh, there's a ship's halfpenny.
Oh, second coin for Peter. Ship's halfpenny, 1939, the outbreak of World War II. So that's going to make it George VI. And indeed it is, Georgius VI, by the grace of God, King of the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India, and the present Queen Elizabeth II's father.
But you may be more interested in that.
Oh, there we go. Pete has got another hammered coin. It is definitely a hammered coin. It's almost certainly, oh, what's going on here? It's almost certainly English. Oh, it's well worn though. God, I can't see any detail on the front, unfortunately. But it's probably going to be a penny or a halfpenny. You can just make out IVI there. So that would be civvy. This part would say TAS, TAS, which means city of. And then the mint mark would be on this side, so it would be something like Cantor for Canterbury, LONDON for London, and such like. But nevertheless, it's a hammered coin. I'm going to guess it's one of the Edwards. So it'll probably be Edward the First to Edward the Third, which means you're talking probably something like the 1170s through to, no, let me think about this. No, the 1250s through to the 1350s, 1360s, something like that. But definitely a hammered coin, definitely English, and definitely silver. And ultimately, even if it's well worn, it's still going to be maybe 700, 800 years old.
Yep.
Fantastic, well done, Pete. Yet another hammered coin, you swine. Well, I'm struggling today. I haven't had a good signal in over half an hour. And this one was ropey, and it is a shotgun cap. At last, sounds reasonable. And there we go. Have we got a coin, or have we got a button? I think we've got a coin. Can't see any signs of a loop, but it's seen better days, so we'll give it a wee rub-a-dub on the trousers. So here we go. It is completely rotten. I can't even see a letter or anything on it. It has had it. It's very thin. I'm guessing it's probably a halfpenny. Chances are it's somewhere between George the First and George the Third. So you're talking 1715 through to 1820. Pete's given me the shout, and he says he's got a second hammered silver coin. Let's see if he's telling the truth or not. He is telling the truth. Pete has got his second hammered coin. He is on fire.
But I also have these.
And he got two beautiful bits of iron there as well. So they're the outtakes that you don't see. But that is, in actual fact, see if you look in the middle, it's got this little, this little flower effect that the one I got last week also had, except mine was really clipped, but you could see the king's face. And on this one, no king's face. Well worn. A few people suggested that this could be, or certainly the one with the flower in the centre of the cross that I got last week. I think it was suggested it could be Edward the Fourth, which would put it around the 1460s, which is the same date as Martin's gold noble that he got. Alternatively, I think there was some suggestion it could be one of the Henrys. I think someone said Henry the Third or Henry the Fourth. So I'm not sure when the Henrys were on the throne, but I'm guessing it was probably sometime in the 14 or 1500s. So still, it's going to be probably a 600-year-old coin. It's hammered, it's silver, and Pete's two hammered coins for the day already. Happy Pete, well done son. So things are on the up. It is a lead seal. Didn't look like one because of the irregular shape and the big knobbly bit in the middle. Normally they're pretty perfectly round, but as you can see this one is not. But there's definite lettering which looks Russian as usual. This side though much better. You can see clear letters, and at the bottom we have an 8, a 3 and a 0 I think, which means that would be 1830. So this is a linen, sorry not a linen, a flax seal that would have been attached to bales of flax that came over to Scotland to be milled into linen. Okay, so we have another reasonable signal, worth a go. Let's see how we get on. No probe required on this occasion, and it looks as if we have a button. My first button of the day. Normally it doesn't take this long to find a button. It's a good size. Oh, it's gold. We have gold gilding. My first bit of gold for today. So it's gold, but not as we know it. It says at the top treble gilt, and at the bottom standard colour. Found quite a lot of these in the fields here. Date wise, probably sometime from the late 1700s, so probably about 1790 from the research that I've done online before, through until about the 1840s. Got a pretty decent signal there. Let's see what we get. So we're out the hole at the second shovel full. are we in here? Oh, look, there we go. We have got some silver. It looks like George V. It is George V, looking to the left. So that's going to mean it's a threepence because of the size. And date-wise, I think he was on the throne from 1909 until, let me remember, was it 1926 or something like that? So probably in the First World War era. Oh, it is indeed. Slap bang towards the end of the First World War. 1917. Silver threepence. I like these little coins. They're very, very highly decorated. And as far as I know, they're 50% silver, if I remember rightly. Not 100%. And nowadays we don't have any silver coins. No sooner have I just shouted to Pete, because he's the nearest person, that I've got a silver threepence. Mr. Pete, who's on 2 silver hammered coins, shouts, "I've got 3, this is my 3rd. He has got another hammered coin. The swine. Don't rub the hammered coin, Pete. Everyone will comment, don't rub the hammered coin. He's rubbing the hammered coin, everyone. It's looking a bit battered.
Very battered. I think it's probably the same as the other 2 I had.
Let me just turn round and
Similar.
get out of the sun. What sort of depth was it? Just about 4 or 5 inches. So, Pete's on a hat trick. And it's the same Pete. I think it's got a little, I think it's got the wee flower in the middle of the cross.
Looks pretty similar.
Oh, the wind's terrible. I can't get into the sun because the wind's so bad. I'm going to have to stay like this. But I think I can just make out the sort of flower in the centre. It is, I think, probably a penny or a halfpenny. And oh, it's pretty battered. Just about make out a face, maybe, on that. I think that's a crown at the top here. So the king would be there facing us. But as Pete said, it looks like it's a similar date. Oh, this wind's terrible. I can't get into the sun to show you. You can just see the... Oh, now I've dropped the coin almost. I think you can just make out the outline of the king's face there. If I hold it like that, you see the shape of the face in the middle with a crown at the top. So I think Pete's right. I think it's the same as before. It's going to be like one of the Edwards. Probably Edward the First to Edward the Fourth, which puts it in the sort of 1250s to 1450s or thereabouts, 1460s. But it's a hammered coin, it's a silver coin, and Pete said 3 in a day. Well done, Pete. Well, this might well be my last signal. It's getting close to home time. But it does sound very good. So, do you see what I see? Right there. That looks to me like a coin. A coin with, at the moment, very little detail on it. But let's give it a wee rub-a-dub on the trousers and see what we can see. So we've got what looks like Britannia on the back, and I think I can see a head looking to the right hand side. So Lexi's over for a look. What do you think of this, Lexi? What's this? Nope, she's off. So that's as good as I think we're going to get at the minute. Bit of detail, the date would have been at the bottom there where that line is. I think it is a halfpenny. Oh, and I've dropped it. So I think it's a halfpenny, and you can just make out a few letters. We've got a bust looking to the right, which is George the Third, and you can just make out DG for De Gratia, by the grace of God, and also Rex for the reign of Georgius the Third. So he was on the throne from 1760 to 1820, and I'm guessing this is probably going to be sometime 1770s through to the early 1800s, because that's when most of his coins that we find on these fields seem to come from. So the madness of King George who lost the Americas and then lost his mind. Here's the extent of Marty's best finds. He's got a huge big musket ball. Try and get the light a bit better. Huge big musket ball, and he's got a little, what looks like a pistol shot as well. In Scotland that was called a dag, a little pistol that was worn on your hip and your belt. You'd fire it when you charged at your enemy and then throw it away. Beautiful little fork left behind by the farmer eating his dinner. This is interesting. It's a little lead seal. It's got the little cross, or should I say the Star of David in the middle, with FD. I haven't had one like that before. Some lettering on the back, but struggling to make it out. It'll need a clean up later on. And lots of bits and bobs. That's a bit of a button, another bit of a button, another button. This one's got a bit of writing on it. What have we got? We have got Walkers, something Walkers or gate. Not sure about that one. And then some leather studs, pieces of lead. Oh, dropped something else. It's a big hem button for a lady's skirt. Piece of tractor, probably a flywheel. Then another button, that's quite an old one. That's going to be Georgian anyway, if not slightly earlier. So that's probably from the 16 into the 1700s. And another button, it's part of a big dandy button, probably from the 17 into the early 1800s. Another lead seal. Some letters in there, but nothing I can make out in some case. And then another button, or is that a coin? I think you could be right. I think that might be a coin. Oop. Dropped it again. So it's got a little circle there, but it's not in the centre, so that's just damage, I think. So it's probably going to be early Georgian or back to William and Mary, that one. And then he's got three what all look like Victorian coins, so they're going to be the middle of the 1800s through to 1901. That one's too far gone. This one though, that's a penny. Queen Victoria looking to the left, young head, so it's going to be 1860s or something. Yep, 1864. That's a 1 penny. This is a halfpenny. Again, young head, so it's going to be at the start of her reign. And can we see a date? Something. Nah, too far gone that one, I think. And then last but not least, another halfpenny, 1860 something, but it's seen better days. You can just make out her head there facing to the left. So, here's Pete and his magical finds. That is a big dandy button. Probably dates to the 17 into the 1800s. It's got a bit of a flash of gold to it. Why won't it focus? There we go. You can see a few specks of gold there, so it's been gilded at some point. And then he's got another fragment of a button. It's a tomback button. It's been tinned or leaded, or silver should I say. It's probably going to date to the 1700s. Oh, he's got another little button with writing around it. Where have we got this time? We had Perth and we had Blair Gowrie before. Oh, we've got Rattray this time. Rattray. So that's a village about 8 or 10 miles away from here. W something. Crank? Grange? Greek? I'm not sure. But it's definitely Rattray, Rattray. So that's a little village in Perthshire. That's his best hammered coin. You can just make out the king's face in the middle with a crown on top. And the locks of hair at the side. We think that's going to be one of the Edwards. So Edward the First to Edward the Fourth. So from 1250 through to probably the middle part of the 1400s. And then he got another couple of hammers as well that we've already seen. They're quite well worn, but at the end of the day they are silver medieval coins. Again, probably both from the Edward the First to Edward the Fourth kind of reign. And the top one there has got that little flower in the centre, so we wondered if that's specific to one king, but we haven't been able to find that out yet. But at the end of the day, he's got 3 hammered coins, all from the medieval period, so fantastic. Well done, Pete. Someday for you.
Definitely.
So thank you all for watching. I think that's going to be us for the rest of today. Marty's digging one final signal out his hole that he already got one thing from, and unless it's a gold noble, then you'll probably not hear from us. And we'll see you on the next dig.